We saw a craft. It was silent. It was hovering.
Humans are still searching for signs of intelligent alien life on other planets. There's a decent chance, statistically speaking, that intelligent extraterrestrials are out there somewhere. Even if the stars would have to align for us to find and contact each other, given the vastness of our galaxy and enormous distance between planets. Finding life or making contact is always going to be highly unlikely until the day we do. But how would we react towards it if we ever did make contact? According to many of our cultural standards, there's only one thing for it if extraterrestrial beings ever take a cosmic detour to our planet, and that is heavy artillery fire. It's what we observed early this year when unidentified objects across the USA and Canada were shot down by fighter jets. Just one of them was confirmed to be a Chinese spy balloon. The rest remain unidentified till date. Now, never-before-seen footage has emerged that shows the moment when a giant triangular-shaped unidentified flying object was seen hovering over a Californian military base, a sighting that was witnessed by over 50 US Marines. Documentary filmmaker Jeremy Corbell and journalist George Knapp revealed the startling footage of the mass UFO sighting for the first time ever on their podcast last week.
They said that there are machines, we can't duplicate their technology, and we don't know where they're from. There's no sticker, there's no tag that says made in China, made in Russia. We don't know.
Orbit. Beyond the blue.
Within 36 hours, I was able to find that there were 50 plus witnesses that claim to have seen a triangular shaped craft that was hovering.
While the incident took place in 2021, the footage had remained unreleased until last week. Around 50 eyewitnesses reported the UFO sighting at the Marine Corps Air Ground Combat Center 29 Palms on the evening of April 20, 2021. Several witnesses filmed the black triangular-shaped UFO with red lights as it hovered in the sky for about 10 minutes before the aircraft vanished. Which begs the question, how come the video footage was not made public by any of the witnesses? The journalists acquired and published 6 videos as well as a photograph that were shot by the US Marines. The footage shows a huge, silent triangular shape dotted with 5 red lights in a formation hovering over the Mojave Desert in California.
Who are they? Where are they from? Why are they here? What's their interest in us?
Eyewitnesses estimated that the unidentified object was approximately half the size of a football field. Massive. The UFO appeared in the sky at 20 past 8. After hovering over the base for 9 minutes, the Marines launched a significant air and ground response. A few minutes later, troops started shooting a flare into the sky in a bid to illuminate the triangular object. However, just before the flares got close enough to expose it, the mysterious object vanished out of the sky without a trace. Post the release of the footage, several eyewitnesses spoke out about witnessing the UFO phenomenon at the military base. One of my buddies was outside. He was looking at the sky and said that it just kind of appeared out of nowhere. And we all came out and looked, and then slowly like 50 plus people started coming out and looking, said an eyewitness, who wished to remain anonymous. Despite their military experience, none of the Marines could recognize the craft, and they were left baffled. This is not the first incident where a UFO has broached military territory. A similar incident had occurred in 2014. On a clear, sunny day in April 2014, 2 F-18s took off for an air combat training mission off the coast of Virginia. The jets, part of a Navy fighter squadron, climbed to an altitude of 12,000 and steered towards Warning Area W-72, an exclusive block of airspace 10 miles east of Virginia Beach. All traffic into the training area goes through a single GPS point at a set altitude. almost like a doorway into a massive room where military jets can operate without running into other aircraft. Just as the two jets were about to cross the threshold, one of the pilots saw a dark grey cube inside of a sphere, motionless against the wind, fixed directly at the entry point. The jets, only 100 feet apart, zipped past the object on either side. The pilots had come so dangerously close to something they couldn't identify that they terminated the training mission immediately and returned to base. This incident is sure to have given you goosebumps, and it did so to the pilots too, who finally spoke up after almost a decade of the near-miss collision. Back then, there was no Pentagon report on UAPs. Despite the frequency of the encounters and the severe risk posed by the hazard, it took the Navy 5 years to adopt a formal UFO reporting structure. The first batch of these reports, heavily redacted and spanning only a few months in 2019, makes clear that the US government faces a significant challenge. For months before and after the incident, aircrews that flew in exclusive use training areas off the US East Coast had frequently observed unknown objects exhibiting highly anomalous flight characteristics. Despite the collision hazard posed by the UFOs, aviators lacked a formal mechanism to report the mysterious objects to higher authorities. In another such incident, an aviator reported that he had never seen anything like this before. In another encounter, an aviator noticed an object with flight characteristics unlike anything I had seen in my redacted years of service, implying a particularly anomalous encounter. The following is the testimony of Ryan Graves, one of the 4 pilots who narrowly escaped the collision in April 2014. These were no mere balloons. The unidentified aerial phenomena accelerated at speeds up to Mach 1, the speed of sound. They could hold their position, appearing motionless, despite Category 4 hurricane force winds of 120 knots. They did not have any visible means of lift, control surface or propulsion. In other words, nothing that resembled normal aircraft with wings, flaps or engines. And they outlasted our fighter jets, operating continuously throughout the day. I am a formally trained engineer, but the technology they demonstrated defied my understanding. If a highly trained, experienced pilot could be this shaken up about the incident, it has got to be something out of the world. Are we alone? Have alien spacecrafts been buzzing across Earth's skies? These questions are being asked more and more frequently with every passing year. So far, it looks like the answers will leave UFO spotters and conspiracy theorists unsatisfied. Officials and analysts who examined video footage from the US Navy planes and other records say they cannot confirm that the evidence points to alien technology, but they also say they can't explain the unusual phenomena.
Orbit. Beyond the blue.